My name's Helen, I'm the Diddy Stitcher, my pronouns are she, her. It is Wednesday the 5th of November, bonfire night here in the UK. It's been another month since my last video, but I've been very busy. Megan's been visiting. She went home Sunday, went up to Glasgow to get her flight, and it's been amazing. It's been so lovely. So I've got so much to tell you about. It's gonna be a Flosstube. There's obviously a lot of stitching, but there's gonna be like travel and stuff interspersed. So I'm not gonna do my regular kind of FFOs, finishes, whips. It's gonna be like a timeline of the 3 weeks that we've had together. So I don't know how long this is going to take. I don't know if I'm going to film it all in one go. I've just got a lot of stuff here. They're in some kind of pile situation. But yeah, I think this is the best way to do it. Then I can put everything away and we'll go from there. So I hope you've got a snack and or beverage of your choice. You've got some stitching. You're probably watching me on 1.5 or 2 speed as Megan does. I watch everybody on normal speed, but I appreciate that sometimes I talk a bit slow and ah, so whatever your preference. So I do have one FFO, maybe two FFOs, 4 finishes and 3 whips that I'm going to show throughout this video. But like I said, it's kind of more of a timeline. So first thing to show, so this one I finished before Megan got here, so I'll just start with that and then we'll go on. So this is Snip Snip by October House Fibre Arts. This is part of their Skinny mini series that I like to do while I'm watching Anna at her swimming lessons, because I can stitch it in hand and it's very small. So that's that. It's on a 36 count Speculess by Roxy Flosco, and I think maybe some of the called for colours, but just a stash dive on that one. And you can see it's almost fully finished, but I'm going to come back to that later. But I finished the stitching before Megan got here, so that was that one. Megan of half of the long distance stitches and Plechity, still can't say it, Megan, I'm sorry, on Instagram, came over to visit from Canada. She lives in British Columbia, Canada. I'm in Newcastle, the northeast of England. So she came over and she was here for 3 weeks. So me, my husband Alex, and our friend who was the best man at our wedding, Ashley, we all got in the car 13th of October and drove up to Glasgow and picked Megan up at the airport. And then we had a week of round Scotland. So we drove up from Glasgow to Orkney. Orkney was kind of the main star of that, and back down. So this section of the video is all about our little 5-6 day Scotland trip. So yeah, I do have, I'm going to put up a separate video that's not a Flosstube, but you might enjoy it because I do, is a time lapse of the car journey. So our wonderful driver, my husband Alex, drove 25 hours in total throughout that week to drive us all around and back very safely. So we put a little camera in the on the dash and just let it run while we were driving. So it's a time lapse, so it's about 12 minutes, I think it is. I've got to find some music or something to put on it. But it was just so nice to drive through Scotland. It was already well into autumn when we were up there, so lots of lovely colours. And the weather was great. So yeah, give that a watch. I don't know when that'll be up. It'll be on here somewhere. If you wanna see that. But yeah, the stitching. So I took 2 projects with me. One was so I finished the snip snip. So I packed another at the Skinny Minis to do because it's an easy in hand. It's in my little pouch. I can take it out. So we did it while at dinner and stuff like that. So this is Topiary Row. So this is a Saf and almost a Sappho faux. So yeah, this is Topiary Row again on 36 count speculoos. Again, stash conversion, if not all. I tried to be kind of true to the colours. I don't really change it up. Obviously, with topiary, it's going to be some kind of green. So that's what I worked on in Scotland. I think I finished it. When did I finish it? Let's have a look. I finished it October 25th. So that was... So I finished it when me and Megan went back up to Scotland, and we were staying in Edinburgh, and then we visited Dundee. But again, I'll talk more about that later. But most of this got done on our Orkney trip. And again, it's partly FFO'd, and I will talk about it later. The other thing I took, because I did a lot of prep before we went, so I would have lots of fill-in, is my illuminations on the wall, which is the Sycamore Gap piece by Trueveil Stitch Kits. So I got a lot done. What did I do? 2,676 stitches. And this is what it looked like before. So you can see where I was. So I put in the tree. I was just going to fill in all of this, but I ran out of floss. I'd only had like 1 length of floss on my floss drop, and that was a little bit silly of me, but I managed to make it work. I did have to do some counting to get down here and up into the tree, but still got lots of stitching done. So I'm doing this on a 36 count even weave, just white, because it's full coverage. And Jen of Trueveil, she always designs her pieces like this to fit in a 5x7 frame, which is so handy and very smart. So yeah, that's Sycamore Gap. So really happy with project progress that I made on that. It is now, you see my Notion, now sitting at 44%, which is very nice. And again, now that I'm back with my stash, this lot of fill in, this it'll go super fast. But it was lovely stitching to have with me. Small enough to be in my nudge, and mindless enough with the fill in. So yeah, really happy with that. So those were the pieces that I worked on for that segment. So I'll talk about our trip. I'll try and put some pictures in where relevant. I'll not go on about too much of it, just kind of the relevant things that I've got here. But yeah, so let's see. I've got my notes on Notion for my trip stuff, and I've got stitching stuff in my book. So let's go back here. So yeah, maybe I'll put a map in for those that are not familiar with England, Scotland geography, so you can see kind of where we were. So yeah, the Monday we picked up Megan at the airport, and then we drove to Loch Lomond, not too far from Glasgow, just to have a look and a break and a situate. And then we drove up to Fort William to stay the night, and it was lovely. And then from there on the Tuesday we drove to Loch Ness. So we went up the west coast of Loch Ness to Urquhart Castle and stayed there. Got a beautiful view of Loch Ness, and it's all about, it's like a little history place, but that was fun. And always need to go to a gift shop, so most of this stuff is just from gift shops, but that's fine. So yeah, Loch Ness, I picked up these little charms. We've got the Scottish flag, a Highland coo, and Nessie. There wasn't much in the way of pins or anything, because obviously me and Megan were on the lookout for needle minders and such, but I don't have a lot of like pull charms for my project bags, so I'll put them on zippers of project bags. But obviously I had to get something for Nessie because we were at Loch Ness. Obviously in Scotland there's a lot of Highland cows in the merch. We never saw one Highland cow when we were there. Very disappointed. But they're not like, they're more like pets. They're not for rearing for milk or meat, so it makes sense that you don't just see them standing in the field. You can go and have encounters with them, you can pet them. We didn't do that. And then from there we went and visited a nearby cairn for Megan to look at. I mean, we were all very interested, but Megan was the one that wanted to go to Orkney to see the Standing Stones and the Neolithic village up there, and I don't think we would have gone without Megan. So it was very nice to go, and it was lovely, and Orkney was lovely. So saw the cairn. It was just like in a field. It's just there. You just go see it. Back in the car and up to John O'Groats, which is the most northerly point on the mainland of Great Britain, that bit. They've got a big sign. You take a picture. It's a thing. Obviously lots of touristy bits there. Wasn't too busy because the kids are at school and it's October in Scotland, so not too much there, but I did get a little patch that I will put on a project bag. I think it's the one that Deanna gave me, Stitch North 2004. I've just been putting patches on it because it's just a little canvas bag. So I was on the lookout for good patches, and that was a good one. So that was at John O'Groats, I picked that one up. And then just along from John O'Groats, like, what was it, half an hour to get to the ferry to go to Orkney. So that was like a night ferry. It only takes an hour and a half, 2 hours, I think, on the ferry. So it's not like an overnight ferry, but it was at night. So not much to look at. I haven't been on a lot of ferries. I wasn't seasick, but didn't feel great about the idea. So got onto Orkney. Our hotel was right off the ferry, so just went straight to bed, really. The next day we went to Scarborough, which is the Neolithic village, and yeah, it was great. It was really, really interesting. Megan knows all about it. I don't know stuff about it, but like really, really interesting. But merch. So there's a place on Orkney called Twat. It's, if you don't know the word in any other context, I won't share it. It was funny listening, I think when we were in Kirkwall, one of the shop attendants trying to explain this word to an American tourist, and I was just giggling. So we got the road sign. You can't actually, there's not an actual road sign now. They had to take it down because people were stopping to take pictures with it. So you can't actually see the sign now, but got a sign. I will probably make it into a needle minder. This was one of those ones that me and Megan just got very excited about and picked up. And then when we looked at the receipt afterwards, it was a bit of a shock of how expensive this was. And bit of a blow when we went to Kirkwall and there was other ones much more reasonably priced. But hey ho, that's the danger of the tourist traps, I guess, and we fell for it. So got one of those that I will probably make into a needle minder, and also this nice one that I was looking for, like a nice one. Let me see. My light's terrible today. It's raining, but it's got the Orkney islands on there, and it says Orkney, and it is made out of recycled whiskey barrels. And I love a wooden needle minder, so that's going to be one of my faves, I think. So after we went to Scarborough, we just drove around looking at all the standing stones. They're just everywhere on Orkney. It's a bit crazy. You just drive and there's, oh, look, it's a standing stone ring. Oh, get out, look at it, get back in, drive 2 minutes down the road. Oh, look, there's another one. It was brilliant. I loved it. So here's some pictures of us with standing stones. It was a bit it was just crazy, like how old they are, and now they're just sat on the side of a road. So once we'd done that, we went back to the hotel, and because we were right in Stromness, me and Megan just went for a stroll through all the shops, and it was beautiful, and I got lots of things. I won't show them all, like householdy things and some jewellery things and whatnot. But I did pick up in one of the places that I thought you all might, is this like felted piece. Oh, I've got lots of glare there. But this is by Two Blue Dogs Designs, and we saw them in quite a few of the gift shops. She's a prolific artist, but the felt with the standing stones and the little sheep, we saw so many sheep. We didn't see the aurora. Alex was really wanting to see the aurora. He took all his camera gear, but it was cloudy. it didn't really rain, but it was definitely overcast. So no chance of the aurora, but some lovely stars and lots of different thread on there. So I don't know where I'll put that, but that's my nice piece of art, fibre art from Orkney. Yeah, got a lot of things, spent a lot. The boys went out to the pub again. Me and Megan just sat in bed and stitched and watched Sleepless in Seattle, and it was lovely. So the next day we went over to the other side of the island to Kirkwall, much kind of bigger. It's the capital of Orkney. So we went to the cathedral, which was beautiful, and then me and Megan went off and did some more shopping. So I got this patch for my project bag. So it's got the ring of Brodgar, but I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. In the proper Orkneys. Just to remind me of that. Yeah, got lots of other things. Got a mirror, got more jewellery. Yeah, just so many lovely things. Yeah, it wasn't too crowded. I can see how it gets very crowded. The cruise ships come in that town. They're talking about, doing a cruise levy, or a tourist levy for those that come over on the ferry that aren't residents. I'd be all for that, because you could see how it would get overwhelmed. But it was lovely. And then we had to go back to the ferry terminal to catch the ferry home. Home. Back to the mainland. And all that went quite easy. We saw, I didn't see because I didn't go outside for that part, but Alex saw some dolphins, like riding the wake. And the view out the window was lovely. I said goodbye to Orkney on the back of the ship, and then I went inside and stitched. So then we had to drive down to Brora. I just picked a hotel kind of not too far from the ferry, but a little bit, the ways down, because you've got to make it all the way back down to the northeast of England. So it was about an hour and a half, I think, off the ferry to get to the hotel to stay for the night. Turned out to be a very, very bougie hotel. I hadn't really realised. I went on the rate, to be honest. I work in hotels. I didn't really think about it. I like to book direct because it gives the hotel more money than booking on booking.com or Expedia or anything like that. And it was a good rate for a one night stay. Turned up and it was very, very posh. I think me and Alex will have to go back in better attire so we can maybe eat in the restaurant at night, because we didn't want to eat in the restaurant. So we just sat in the bar and ate chips. But it was fine. It had lovely beds, lovely shower. Compared to being in a kind of probably Victorian era hotel that is in badly need of an upgrade on Orkney, but it was fine, to, a very bougie manor house sort of thing in Brora. But we had passed it on the way up. So we knew the area, and you know, we'd seen the area before and seen that there was a knitting shop in the village. So we're like, well, when we stay here, we'll have to come and visit before we, you know, head off again. So in the morning after breakfast, Megan and I took a walk into the village, and we popped in first to I guess kind of the information centre of the town, but it had a gift shop thing. So I picked up a little Christmas ornament because I love collecting Christmas ornaments. These ones, I'm not sure who the company is, but when Alex and I got engaged in Scotland, we went to Balmoral, the home of the Queen in Scotland. King now, R.I.P. So I have a thistle and a Christmas tree in this designer, this maker. I don't know. It's obviously mass produced, but they had this one, so I wanted to add that to my collection. And then we went across the road to the knitting shop. I didn't buy any knitting yarn. I did try to call my mum, but she likes to squish it before, and I get that. So I didn't get anything for her. But I did get some tartan. They just had like a whole bucket of offcuts of tartan. You might have seen that I've already used some of that. So I haven't got like the pile with me. But that was nice. And then I picked up this sweet little tin with like crochet diamonds. I'm not sure, they're not granny squares because they're like, but it's cute. It's just it's just one of the Emma Ball ones, if you're familiar. So again, not like kind of artisan, but I do like these little types of tins. And I do like knitting and crochet, even though I don't do it myself. I like to look at it. So that's what I got there. Megan got yarn. I'm sure whenever Megan and Megan do their next Flosstube, you're going to see all that. Oh, I got some, oh no, that was it, tartan, tin and snowflake. That's what I got in Brora. And then we had to drive down from Brora to Aberfeldy, where our next hotel was. And we didn't really have any plans beyond just getting there. So while we were at the very bougie hotel, I was just kind of looking at what to do en route. We found a gin place because Alex doesn't like whiskey, but he does very much likes gin. So we found a gin place to go and have a little taster. It was nice. It was a bit weird because it was just kind of in a newly built, but it was like an industrial estate. It wasn't like a big distillery. It was just, you don't have to have a big still to do lots of gin. But it was just like in a little shop front in an industrial estate. And further down there was like a gym and people were doing like laps in the car park. It was a bit weird. But the gin was lovely. I thought I didn't like gin. Turns out I don't like tonic. So the gin and ginger ale was very nice. So we bought the gin and we'll have to get some ginger ale when we go shopping. Probably at the weekend because we've got nothing in now because we haven't been shopping for like a month. And then just more driving down. I think that was the biggest kind of stint apart from getting home. In Aberfeldy there's a big knitting shop though. It's like sewing sewing in the front, and they've got a little cafe as well. So I thought, you know, if we're there any length of time, the boys will be fine. They can sit and have a coffee. Sewing in the front, lots of fabric, lots of thread and sewing machines and whatnot. And then in the back they had lots of yarn. So again, Megan got lots of yarn. I think the only thing I got there was fabric. Again, they had, I love a little offcuts bin to rummage through. So I got a few bits, but again, I've kind of dived into it already, so I don't have it to show. I will when I show some partial FFOs. And I got some little scissor and tape measure set that I was using at our retreat. I will talk about in a minute. But that was very nice. It was a nice little shop. If you're in that kind of vicinity, it's worth a visit. We stayed at the Moness Resort. Alex and I had stayed there when on our way up to Skye, or back from Skye, can't remember. Either which way, it's a good little place. It's just a little ways from Pitlochry, which is like very touristy. All the coaches go there. It's got a massive like tourist shop thing. Me and Alex did stop on the way to Skye, but the hotel seemed to be more expensive for not as nice. So driving just a little way to Aberfeldy, we got a nice. It was very busy. I think because that was the Friday night. Yeah. So a lot busier on a Friday night. But it was fine. And then in the morning we went to a bookshop that has a watermill. It's like inside the watermill. And that was nice. I didn't get anything. Alex bought Anna a book called The Mushroom of Doom or something. It was very funny. I had bought 2 books on Orkney of The Gruffalo and The Gruffalo's Child in Orkneys. And Anna loves it. I know it's one of her favourite books. I know The Gruffalo off by heart. I can say it without the book. Now she wants me to learn the Orkneys version off by heart. I try my best. I need to find a video of someone reading it so I'm getting the pronunciation right. But that's fun. So yeah, I don't think I bought anything there. That was my birthday day, was that Saturday. So we stopped and had a scone. And then drove to Queensferry, which is one of the hotels that I work for is there. So we stopped and got lunch and everybody was lovely there. And then just drove home. So yeah, it was probably the long stretch from Queensferry. It's just north of Edinburgh to Newcastle, and we were all done in and just exhausted. Got home, managed to unload everything. Ashley stayed for the night and then he got the train home, and then Anna, who had been staying with my dad, came home on the Sunday. So that was the end of the Scotland trip. There's a lot, but it was so much fun. It was lovely. Yeah, me and Alex love Scotland. it was nice to go right up to Orkney. Going to Skye felt like a big trip, and it was. Orkney just felt a little bit calmer. I don't know whether it's because of the terrain. It was a lot flatter than I expected. And Skye's very dramatic with its mountains and whatnot. But yeah, it was lovely. Like I said, the weather was perfect. We were very, very lucky. And I think Megan was happy getting to see what she wanted to see. Okay, quick break. So yeah, when I came home, that was my birthday weekend. So I got a few birthday gifts. So Alex bought me, he bought me the Enya vinyl collection. And he said that was it. That was my birthday present. It's very, very lovely birthday present. But he also had got me these two things, which they're very, like, so sweet that he thought of it, and that he knew about them a long time ago, and kept an eye on when they would be released so he could get them for me because they're limited edition. So he bought me 2 Moët champagne bottles in these beautiful tins that have got the artwork that I'm stitching. So these are the 2 tins, and these are the patterns that I'm stitching. So lovely. I don't know if I can get without reflection. But yeah, there's no champagne in. We drank one. And one's in the fridge for an occasion. Don't know when. Or did we drink this one? It might still be in the cupboard. But yeah, these are just lovely pieces of art. So we've got them under the top of the dresser in the living room to look at. So now I'm like, why do I stitch it? Do I still need to stitch it? Yes, of course I'm going to stitch it. But yeah, I don't know where he saw that these were being released with the original Alphonse Mucha artwork. He's such a good husband. But yeah, I just thought it was so thoughtful, and we love champagne, so. My dad brought over, when he brought Anna back, some presents. He got some chocolates and 2 bay trees. So we've planted them in the garden already. But he also got me this notebook. That's like it's machine embroidery. He tries his best, bless him, with the so I thought it looked like cross stitch. It does, but so that's by Otto. I hadn't seen them before. It's a lovely lined notebook with a ribbon bookmark inside, which I like. So I think that'll be a Flosstube notebook in the future. And then Megan, she was so generous over the entire time that she was here. But she got me these. I think they were these, especially for my birthday. Apologies if I've got them mixed up, Megan, but they're just here, and you gave them to me, so I decide what they were for. So I got, let me make sure I'm getting everything on my list. So this tea towel from a printer from a craft fair that she goes to, I think. Do you like an adventure now, or shall we have our tea first? It's so beautiful. Look at that mousse. Gorgeous. So I'm gonna get those like magnetic wooden poster boards, I think, to hang it up. I've got one, but it's a bit too small and it makes it look a bit wobbly. So I'm gonna get longer ones to have and hang it somewhere. Alex loves this one, so it will escape my craft room and go out into the real home to go somewhere. I got another little mousse. I'm not sure who does this, maybe from the craft fair as well, but look how stinking cute that mousse is. I've had him on the dresser since Megan was here, but I've got lots of like autumn Halloween decorations up at the minute, so I'm gonna have to find a more permanent home for him. But he's just gorgeous. Got another notebook, because you can never have too many notebooks. Beautiful bee one. Carla Joseph is the artist on that one. Again, another lovely lined with a ribbon bookmark as well. I love her. A ribbon bookmark. And then this beautiful Sheba Designs deluxe thread bed with Little Women fabric, because Little Women is my favourite book and Megan pays attention. And also this cute little what do you call it, spoolie for when we inevitably have to frog our things. So I think I will use this for when I go to Anna's swimming. I usually, this is the pouch that I take. This is another Little Women pouch. This is from Out of Print. But I love these deluxe thread beds because they can sit open, obviously, and they've got a pocket and a needle minder in there and a little felt needle holder there. So I think the two together, if I can put I can put my scissors, oh, I'll just drop the spoolie. I can put my scissors in here. Maybe I'll put different scissors in here because these are a bit big. I can put scissors in the pocket and keep my orts, because I always lose my orts in this, in just the zipper pouch. So I can put the thread bed in the pouch. So I have my pattern. Pattern goes in the pouch. Maybe I can put my floss in the thread bed. I've got a tiny little start on the next one, but I'm not showing you that right now. And then I can zip all that up, but not everything's not like kind of rattling around in there. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I can take this out when I'm at swimming and lay it out and not have everything kind of wander around. So thank you, Megan. It's very, very thoughtful of you for it to be Little Women. So yeah, that was all my birthday goodies that I got. stitching related anyway. And then just other things that I've got. I've just kind of put this in here because I don't know when I got them, what they were for. Megan just being ridiculously generous as she is. So I'm just going to show you all that now. So this is kind of like the proper haul bit, even though we've done a lot of haul already. So this might be where it gets a bit clippy. So if you've watched lately, you'll know that I've come into quite a lot of beads. And the storage of said beads were starting to be a problem. I had started storing my beads in Cottage Mills connector boxes that are now discontinued. So I didn't have enough for a full set. And I've been looking on eBay and such, seeing if anything comes up. Nothing ever has. So coming into all of the beads from the shop that closed down, I had to pivot. So these are the Cottage Mill connector boxes. These are the small size. They're very good. They come apart from each other. They just slide together, snap together. And then each one, you put your beads in there. I don't know how many I've got altogether. Maybe like 40 something. Not enough for all of the different beads that I had. I have been looking online for something else that I could pivot to. There was obviously a lot of the kind of diamond painting storage solutions that people use, but wasn't really tickling my fancy. I found online, I think I'd done like a Google image search of beads to see like, right, this is what I kind of want, with one kind of disconnected to show the model or whatever it uses. That's what I want. I want them to be able to disconnect. There's obviously lots of boxes that come like this, but you can't separate them, and I want to separate them so when I'm kitting up a project, I just take the whole thing out of the system. And Google Images came up with these pill boxes from Muji, which is like a Japanese retailer. They're I think they're Muji was like originated in Japan or whatnot. They're now kind of everywhere. And these little pill boxes, they're made in Vietnam, so it's not Japanese, but the concept is the same. So they say it's a pill box. So you get 7 for your 7 days, but they connect and disconnect, and the 7 doesn't end at the ends. That makes sense. So you can have more than 7 together. So this was my new system. So I counted how many tubs I needed for all the different beads that I had. I got the stickers from Pip and Chip. They have the entire Mill Hill series in stickers to put them on here. And yeah, so I had bought a few just to make sure that they were going to be okay. I was happy with that, but I looked on the Canadian Muji site and they were significantly cheaper in Canada. Don't know why. So I asked Megan if she would do me a really weird favour and order 35, I think I got in the end, of the 7 pillboxes, and bring them to me. And she did, because she's a good friend and she doesn't judge. No one seemed to have a problem of her bringing however many pillboxes that is into the country. They are not for illicit purposes, just for beads. So I spent a few days sorting out the beads that I have. I had quite a lot of duplicates, also quite a lot of discontinued, because I just bought what was left of a shop that closed down. So they had a lot of beads that obviously weren't selling because patterns weren't asking for them. So that makes sense. Not a lot. Ones that I can use in substitutions, or if I'm I could kit something up. There's enough of them. I think most of them have duplicates, so there's enough of them to do something with. But yeah, that was interesting, because I would pick it up and there would be no label for them because Pip and Chip hasn't made a label for them. So yeah, and there are quite a few that I don't have any beads for yet. So I still have lots of boxes. I ordered some more because I have the, oh, can you hear my stomach? I'm hungry. I have some of the bigger beads. I think these are the size 8s or something for Moonglow. I don't know that I'm going to use them. I thought I'd need bigger boxes for the bigger beads, but I think I'll be okay with these. Some of the very big ones, like the size 3, I think I will need these bigger boxes, but I think I have enough of them to do. Anywho, I now have a full box of beads. This is a temporary solution because I used to have all my Mill Hill beads in one drawer of my Bisley under all of my DMC stash, and I have rapidly outgrown that. So everything is here together. It still needs sorting out. I still need to fill those holes of the Mill Hill beads that I don't have. I'm not in a rush to do that. I only got to this situation because I bought a lot of those beads incredibly cheaply from the shop that was closing down. But yeah, this is my bead store. I do maybe want a better situation than just this really useful box. Just so I can separate the different types. So you've got the seed beads and petite beads. Petite beads are the ones that I'm using for my Data Portraits in Paris one right now. The seed beads I'm using in like Angel of Love, and I forget what other whips have beads right now. My chatelaine is all the Delicas, they're not the Mill Hills. I'm blanking, but there's more at the Christmas Village, the Mill Hill Christmas Villages. Once I get round to beading them, they will be using all of these. So yes, it's a work in progress, but that's where we are right now. So I appreciate Megan bringing me an ungodly amount of pillboxes to store my beads in, and not judging me for it because she's a good friend. So that was that whole situation. Other things that she brought me, like, I'm gonna grab a whole pile of stuff and go through it. I can't really show you, but she brought me the Quirky Quakers from Deanna's dinosaur box because Deanna can't ship over here from Canada. It's difficult for her. I understand that. But Megan had the dinosaur box and has stitched her Quirky Quakers, so I've got the Quirky Quakers to do there. Were these from Michelle? She saw Michelle at Banff? Something like that. I can't remember. Quirky Quaker Bear, Quirky Quaker Fox. Again, ones that I need for my Quirky Quaker EPP. So thank you. Megan passed along her rebirth chart, artwork by Uncanny Carrie, charted by Dee's 20 Stitches. It was in Jessie Mislaid Page's bird box from a couple of years ago, I think. Love this. Love it so much. I just asked if anybody had the pattern that they were passing along. Megan said, I will finish it. I think she had it as a whip for quite a long time. Pass it along with the fabric. I might have to be a little bit squeezy on the margins, but look at that. That's going to be feckin' gorgeous. And the floss as well. Oh, there we go. February Bird Box 2023. This one was from. And yeah, she left all the dinky dies for it. So thank you so much, Megan. That's gorgeous. I should have taken that to the retreat and started it. I have regrets. And then she also left half of her fabric for the Stitch for Pride 2025 that I signed up for. I have the patterns. I just didn't do the stitching. So this is a 40 count for doll. This is Determination, is it? Again, dyed by Jessie of Mislaid Pages. And the owl floss that's called for, and I put them on the tags that Trina had sent last video. So I have fabric. Oh, I have fabric and floss, and I have my own PDFs for that one when I get to stitch that. And Megan finished her seasonal moths from Deanna, their Patreon charts. Again, I have the charts. I haven't stitched them, but Megan, I'm not going to show you it because it's just the chart. Megan put them together to do a little a roundy thing. It looks so pretty. So she left me her charting of the 4, but I have the charts from being a Patreon member. So that was lovely. Oh, also, this was just in the pile. Megan got me this bookmark that she picked up in Newcastle when she went on one of her little wanders. It's so cute. This is from Lucy Pittaway. And then one other. It wasn't waiting for me when I got home, but it got delivered not soon after we got home from Scotland, is my Cottage Garden Advent Calendar from Poppy Patch. I'm so excited. I always love this box. This is the 3rd year that I'm getting this box. They use the same box as well. It's a lovely box. So Flossmas. I will be doing Flossmas this year, I think. I think I'll just film and post it every week rather than one a day. But we will see this in Flossmas. So the next weekend, Megan and I went up to Edinburgh. She wanted to get a tattoo from an artist there. I was technically still working, so I just found a coffee shop and did my emails. We didn't do much else. Megan had a fall just as we got into Edinburgh. So she messed up her foot quite badly. So she sat through her tattoo with a messed up foot. Managed to get back to the hotel. We went out for dinner. There was a place just around the corner that was Canadian. It was really, really good. I really want to go back. So I had poutine. I had a bit of Megan's poutine. It was fine. I don't think I'm a fan. I think I'll try it again if I have the opportunity at Stitch North. I'll try it again in Canada. But she had poutine with haggis. I think she said it was very nice. The burger that I had was amazing. I don't know if it's just because I hadn't eaten, but it was really good. We were gonna have a wander round, but her foot, bless her, was too short. So she went back to the hotel. I went to Boots to get plasters and bandages and cold compress stuff. And then we sat in the room and we stitched. And then in the morning we checked out of the hotel, went up to Dundee on the train. The trains were a bit delayed, but we got there eventually, and turned out we had to leave a little bit earlier than we had planned. But again, it wasn't the end of the world. It was maybe an hour less that we had up in Dundee. But I think we were fine. We were just like, let's just get home. So we'd gone up to Dundee for the V&A museum there. They were doing an exhibition called Thread Memory, all about Tatrice, about Palestinian embroidery. And I still don't think I can talk about it. It was very emotional. Absolutely beautiful dresses and other kind of artifacts on display. I'll put in a few pictures. I cried a lot. No, I don't think I can talk about it. But to say, I will put links below for their exhibition. They have like a sister one at the V&A in Kensington, down London, if you're closer to there. I would like to go and see that. I can't remember when it's on till. But yeah, go read about it. Go look at it. They had videos in the exhibition that were really interesting. You can see them on the V&A YouTube, I think. I want to talk about it, but I feel like I'm too emotional. Too safe to say it was beautiful, well worth the visit, and a lot of food for thought. We had a nice little coffee there. Of course, went to the gift shop afterwards. So, few little things. So there was a a garden exhibition at the same time. I think you had to pay to go in. The Thread Memories exhibition was free to enter. I did leave a donation. But the kind of main exhibition was this garden exhibition. So lots of the stuff in the gift shop was to do with the garden stuff. And it was pretty and stuff, but what me and Megan really liked were these carrot scissors. They're so cute. And we were like, oh, they're so cute. And then you turn them over. There's a magnet on the back as well. So I think the idea is you put them on your fridge or whatever, and it maybe for like house plants or something. But these ones are Japanese. I don't know who the maker is. SIW Japan. But they seem to be good. I haven't used them yet. And they've got a little hole, maybe to put like a scissor fob on or something. Again, I should have put these on my little lanyard thing at the retreat. Maybe I will. I know they put like carrot scissors. Nothing to do with the exhibition we saw. But very cute. They had these as well. These little pins. Again, you got to buy a pin to make it into a needle minder. This is Hagatha. And how stinking cute is she? I showed it to Megan and she was like, I can't buy any more stuff. And I was like, well, I'm going to buy it. And they're buy one, get one free. So you are having one. So this is, hi, I'm Hagatha. I like bolting around the place and being a great chieftain of the puddin' race. Look at her little face. It's a haggis. So that will be another great needle minder. And it's wooden as well. So perfect. And then I got a lot of books. So I was looking on the website before we went and saw that they had this book that I was wanting to get. So these are all from Common Threads Press that do a lot of independent author books. I'm going to go through the ones that I picked up as well. I just bought everything that was there basically. But this is by Rachel Dedman, who curated the exhibition that we saw. This is Stitching the Intifada. I've flipped through them all. I haven't read them properly. I was not in the space to fully read this afterwards. But it's beautiful. Just these are stills from the videos that were at the exhibition. Some dresses. So I follow you can follow Common Thread Press on Instagram, and they're all about various fibre arts. They're all very interesting, so I would highly recommend giving them a follow and looking at what all of their contributors are up to. Yeah, so that was, I guess, to do with this exhibition. Specifically, that was the word that I was looking for. And then I got 3 other ones that I'd been eyeing, but I think they're a little bit hard to get. They're not in like mainstream bookshops, so you can't order them unless you order them direct from the website. And when I did, I think they were sold out, so I was glad that they were there, that I could pick up these copies. So this is Diasporic Threads, Black Women, Fibre and Textiles. An invigorating survey of Black women textile artists celebrating their vital contributions to culture and social histories through fibre-related mediums. Again, I haven't read these ones yet, just flipped through them. Many Hands Make a Quilt. Short Histories of Radical Quilting. This is by Jess Bailey. And then stitching freedom, embroidery, and incarnation. Oh, my light just went out. For centuries, people have stitched in good times and in bad, finding strength in the needle moving in and out of the fabric. Stitching freedom explores the embroidery made in prisons and mental health hospitals, those who have embroidered to distract, to reflect, or to calm. From Mary, Queen of Scots, to Lorena Bulwer, embroidery historian and curator Isabel Rosner unpicks 12 embroidered histories to discover what can be created when freedom is out of reach. Very interested in that one. And then I haven't seen this one before. This is Julia Tristan, Textile Protests, Artist, Activism, and the Historical Power of Cloth in Protest, which I think we're all a bit interested in right now. Landmark exploration of how textiles have been used for the political protests in the 20th and 21st centuries. Whether fighting gender equality, protesting conflict and racial injustice, or raising awareness about the climate emergency, textiles have been used in many forms, including banners, flags, items of clothing, and fine art pieces to express resistance and unite people across different causes. This is just a... Let me have a look, see if there's anything that we might have seen before that's covered in here. So the stitching for Memoriam, that's the AIDS quilt, the Hillsborough disaster, the Grenfell memorial quilt, COVID-19 quilt, the suffragette movement, the Me Too movement. That's about pride flags. Obviously it's not like embroidery, but making a flag as textiles. Trade unions, the American Civil Rights Movement, Black Lives Matter, the use of the watermelon, anti-war stuff, nuclear disarmament, gun control, climate activists, Just Stop Oil, protests against fast fashion, textile waste, cultural dress. There's more Tetris in here. Does anybody remember the dusters? The domestic dusters? And all the contributions. There's a paragraph on craftivism, embroidery, yarn bombing, lots of dedication days on all the credits and sources. I mean, it's huge. Like, if there's something to protest about, you want to do it with some kind of fibre, it's in here. So that'll be a really good read and reference book. Yeah, so that was what I got when we were in Dundee. But again, I highly recommend you go to the exhibition if you're able, and if not, they have a ton of the resources online that I will link below. Okay, I'm back. I had to take a little break. Went for a walk. Alex and I went to IKEA. I just took the rest of the day. I was working, but yeah, getting out. I thought I'd just film the rest of it later because it was kind of my plan anyway. So yes, onwards and upwards. I don't even know where I am. I've done kind of other stuff, talked about Dundee. So we came back from Dundee, and it was that Sunday, I think. Megan showed me how to use my sewing machine somewhat properly. I tried my best. She was a very good teacher, very patient. So yeah, I finished all of the skinny minis that I've stitched so far. So fully finished. I've sewn them. They're to be stuffed. But I did do one whole one. So we did one whole one. So this was tomato row. And yeah, I added this little bit on here because I thought that kind of balanced it out, or like made it off balance. But then with the tomato here, I thought it was cute. And then just plain fabric on the back. So with this one, I think we stitched it. You can see the fibre fill coming out. Don't look at that. We stitched it with the sewing machine and then flipped it inside out with a little hole, and then I hand stitched it, and I think it looks okay. It looks okay. It's filled like enough, not, it's all fibre filled. There's no, I do have the walnut shell stuff, but I think for a long skinny one, you don't need the weight. It's just, so it's just a poofy thing. So I've got a big dough bowl on my windowsill that I was going to put stuff in. It's got pumpkins in at the minute because Halloween, autumn stuff. But yeah, I did a little pillow. And so that was the Sunday. We managed to get one done, because I was very slow at like doing all the steps and trying to remember it, and then I just hyper focused. So on the Monday, when I was between working, I was like excited to play with all my fabrics and stuff that I had gathered. So I did another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pillows on the Monday, and Megan was just sat in the living room, and I had it all set out in the dining room because there's not a lot of space in here for like her to be in here helping me, so I just had it all downstairs, and we just left it all downstairs. So I would just like make something and then maybe like call her to help me with something if I got stuck. But then I would just like run through to the living room and say, look at what I did. It was so cute. So this was the next one that I did. So the topiary row that I've already shown you. So this one, I forgot to interface the stitching, which is okay, I think, for this, but I can see why interfacing is important now. And I did 2 little bits of fabric. So this is some of the tartan that I got in Scotland. And this was just another random green piece. The lighting's terrible. It's probably changed a lot since yesterday too. And then I just had this fabric on the back, just because. But yes, and then my top, I forgot to leave the opening on the bottom. So my opening's on the top. So when I come to finish it, I'll just have to make sure I'm extra neat. It's not, I mean, you can't see it on there. It's not too bad on the tomato one. So that was that one. Then I did snip snip. So I made this one even bigger. I don't know why. I think they gradually got bigger. Some of them did anyway. I don't know why. And so I did interface the stitching on this one, and I can tell. I don't know if you can tell on camera. It's a lot less floppy. So I chose like a grey and a yellow to bring out the stitching. I was conscious on the models of these, they are finished very close up to the stitching. So when they take a picture of the fully finished object, you can lose like the words up here or down here. So I wanted to give it a bit of extra margin. I don't know if I went too big on the margin. And again, some tartan that I got in Scotland. I did interface this because this was very wobbly. Is that the word? Unstable? I don't know. But I'm glad I did that because I think it would have been quite hard stitching it. But also to hand stitch it at the end, I think I need that interfacing to grab onto, so we'll see how that one goes. Again, I did that one on the top. Didn't learn my lesson there. This one I kept skinny. I do think it's cute. I did this one with a satin ribbon, like a very wide ribbon. I just treat it like an odd piece of fabric. I did interface that one too, and then I had this very cute mint green candy canes that I picked up, that I think I got a whole fat quarter of it, just for this. I quite like having something on the front because you don't always see the back. Maybe I will when I put it up for Christmas, if I put it somewhere. I did do the opening on the bottom there that time, but the yeah, I like the satin on here for Christmas. And then I went rogue. So for this one, this is the Itch to Stitch. I didn't have a lot of pink fabric, so this was my backing fabric, but I didn't have a lot of other good options. So I took it upon myself to use this ribbon. It's that like cotton ribbon. Really terrible lighting, Helen, well done. But because it was thin, I top stitched it onto the stitching and then tread this whole thing like just a front and a back. So that worked. I think it came out okay. Where did I put the opening for this one? There it is. I forgot to leave an opening. I mustn't have, because I turned it right way around. So yeah, I like that one with the top and the bottom. I think because of the bobbins, they're like top and bottomed. I like the top and bottom for this one. That's cute. And then my pumpkins. So I had too many fabric options for this one. So I used this that I'd had just a very long skinny piece. There's even more of this from an offcut of something, and I wanted to use that, but then I thought it needed balancing, so I've got this orange corduroy, but it's like a very thin corduroy, it's not too heavy. And then for the back, this is what I found in Scotland at that sewing and wool shop with the cafe. It's got crosses on and it kind of looks like pumpkins, and I was like, I just have to use that. So I went much bigger than a skinny mini for this one, but once I get it stuffed, it'll sit in that dough ball with the pumpkins. Then when I put autumn away, Deck the Halls will be there with some other things, I'm sure, and then for the rest of the year it'll just be the kind of non-specific cushions, pillows, that was the word that I was looking for. So yeah, that was that. I'm a whiz now with the sewing machine. I think the biggest thing, I'm just not afraid of it. I did do something else that I'm going to show you in a minute and messed it up, but it came okay. I'll talk about it in a minute. But yes, very thankful to Megan for showing me little tips and tricks and telling me what to do next time when I went wrong and reminding me which step to do it in. So yes, thank you for that. So I managed to do them all. So next time I finish one of those, I can just immediately finish it rather than like wait for them to pile up. I don't have a dedicated sewing place. My sewing machine lives here just on the top of my Bisley, and I have to bring it out, and I don't have a cutting mat. I could, if I cleared off that space over there. I need a big cutting mat. and probably a bigger ironing mat thing, maybe one of those wool. I've just got like a little one at the minute. But yeah, I can finish things now, so I'm happy. And then the other thing that I wanted to show you before we talk about the retreat was, I can't remember like when I worked on this when Megan was here, but I just kind of slowly chipped away at it because I'm still behind on my obligation stitching from being so busy for, the weeks before Megan was here, then when Megan was here. Anywho, so I managed to do 8 of the diamonds, so 2 more rows on my Anatolian Odalisque by Avlia Folk Embroidery. So I've got 4 more rows to do. So I'm 2/3 of the way through. So it's getting there. But that's how big it will be. There's a lot of fly flying around. So yeah, my eyes go cross-eyed when I look at it for too long. Once the flowers are in, it'll be much better. But yeah, and will sit under the said dough bowl that my pillows will go in once it's finished. When it comes back to me after our little round robin, whenever that's gonna be. I don't know, I just want to be ready for it. So that's that. So the retreat. So I mentioned it, I guess, when it happened. But there was supposed to be a retreat in Newcastle Halloween weekend. It got cancelled about 8-9 weeks out. The organisers had some family trouble. We don't really know much more than that. She hasn't been very communicative. It happened to be at one of the hotels that I work for, so I tried to reach out to the organiser to see if I could help in any way. She didn't want the help, that was fine, but obviously Megan was still here, and my friend Amy of Pearls and Ponderings had booked a trip with her family from Wales to culminate in Newcastle for the retreat. So that was already booked, so she was going to be here. So I said, I'll organise the 3 of us to have a little conference room at the same hotel. We'll get some bedrooms. We'll make what we can of it. And it might be nice just to have the 3 of us, and it'd be very, very low key. And it was lovely. Obviously we didn't have kind of lots of other people there, lots of other stitchers to see, or vendors or anything like that, but I think we all had a good time. It was nice. We made the most of what we could, and rather than just, we tried to rally, and we did. It was nice as well because Amy was with her husband and her daughter, who's like 3, and she's the cutest thing. And I think it was much easier for Amy to have them come and go in the room. Obviously, when child needed mother, it wasn't a big thing. We really enjoyed having her around. She was so cute, and just did her own stitching and colouring and wanted to see what everybody was doing. I think in a bigger retreat it might not have been so possible, so that was nice for Amy. So as kind of self-appointed organizer and host, even though the girls didn't expect anything, but as it was like kind of in my town and my hotel, I kind of felt obligated. And that's on me, that's not on them. So I put together a little goodie bag because we, like I said, we weren't going to have vendors. So I thought we need to go away with something that you wouldn't have got otherwise. So I got us these little tote bags. Shy Ben's getting out. That's a Geordie saying from Newcastle. Basically means if you don't ask, you don't get. So, you know, I had done that with the hotel. I'd asked if we could still have a retreat. They said yes. They gave us the room complimentary. I get discounts on the bedrooms as part of my benefit. So, you know, that was kind of the theme. And then the non-Geordie's got a bit of Geordie there. When Kaylee came a few weeks ago, I messaged her kind of in a panic to say, could you do anything? Do you have any bags? Do you have any fabric that I can buy off you to put in the goodie bags, because our retreat's cancelled, we won't have anything to buy. And Kaylee, in her infinite generosity, is the sponsor of this bag because she gifted the three of us a project bag and a load of fabric. So this is the one that I chose because I was the organizer. So we all got like Halloween themed ones. Super cute. With a little spider web pull that Kaylee always puts on her things. A maple leaf needle minder. The sewing shop is Kaylee's shop. Please go and support her because she's just amazing. And then a whole bundle of fabric, little ornament cuts, which is just amazing. I haven't even looked at these, but these are perfect for little quirky Quakers or smalls. I don't know what count these are or what, but she's just so generous to gift us all these little things. Some little gridded ones to do a tiny full coverage. How crazy that one is. Some with like patterns on. Just amazing. So massive thanks to Kaylee at the sewing shop for doing that for us, to make my life a little bit easier and yeah, make the girls smile. The other thing that I put in, I got like a little thing of stickers. I think they're all ones that you can put on your water bottle, but we all love stickers. I didn't put mine in here because I made them and I've already got them, but a little thing of floss cards and floss bling thing and a matching needle minder. I think I put in some iron-on patches as well that I had already put on my patch one that I talked about. I can't remember what else. Megan might show it in her Flosstube whenever she does one with Megan again, because she's already off traveling again for work. So keep an eye out for that because their videos are always great. But she might have it all together that I didn't have. But yeah. So the other thing I put in was from True Veil Stitch Kits. I just got one kit, but we shared the 3 patterns in here. So it's the Newcastle and Gateshead baubles. I wanted it to be something you know, locally themed. So there's the Angel of the North, Newcastle Castle, and the bridges over the Tyne. So I just split up the thread and said, which one do you want to do? So we could all have a little kit. So we had a kit, a project bag, some fabric, some stickers, some goodie bits. And yeah, that was the little goodie bag that I put together for the retreat. We did do a little s'mores exchange as well. I'm going to put in a video because I took a little video before we went of what I did for the girls. So maybe I'll put that here. Hello everyone. What's the date? It's the 8th of October. And I finished these a little while ago, but I would get a chance to show you them until after I give, because these are it's the s'mores exchange for our tiny retreat on the Toon. And yeah, I just wanted to show you. So they both came from this book, Cross Stitch for the Earth by Emma Congdon, also known as Stitchrovia. And the first one I picked was this one from Megan. I haven't done the whole thing. But what I did was I had 2 of these. They're black. Like, what do you call them? Drawstring bags that Alex got with some cologne he got. So I like to repurpose stuff. So I've had 2 of these in my stash for a little while. So I thought, we're doing 2 things. That's perfect. I've got 2 things. So I kind of figured out how big this bit needed to be on the panel to cover the logo that was on there. And Megan, I know, loves whales and sea creatures and all. So I took this little bit from down here. So that's that bit. I kind of smushed this over so the fish kind of come in this little corner. I grabbed the jellyfish and swung them around. And then this wave I inverted to kind of wrap around here. So that's what I've done. So this is a piece of 18 count Aida that I ice-dyed myself, and I thought the purple looked really cool. I hadn't stitched the inside of the whale because I thought that looked cool. So yeah, and then I used this it's like a velvet ribbon that I just had in my stash. Keep putting my finger over the camera, sorry. I did sew this on. This was my second attempt. I'll show you Amy's in a bit. That was my first attempt. And this is the reason that I need Megan to come and help me with my sewing machine, because I'm terrible at it. But I think this second one went okay. I did try and just do it all with like double-sided fusible interfacing. But like opening, closing the bag, it wasn't going to hold up, so I needed to stitch it. So I did get in there with my sewing machine and I did stitch it as best I can. It's not perfect, but you know, it's the thought that counts, right? And then I added this little mermaid doodad and a purple trim to go with the fabric. So yeah, that's Megan's. This is based on this pattern. I don't think Emma names her pieces, but we don't inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. And that's what I did there. So I'll pop that away. And then Amy's, I chose this one because this little frog is super cute. I wanted to do him. So again, let me pull this in. I did the frog and pulled the bee down from the top of the pattern. Fiddled with some of these viney leaf doodads. Gave him the little dragonflies there as well. They look better here. I don't know if it's because of the fabric. I did it on this sage green linen. I think it's a 32 count, something like that. And again, bordered with some ribbon. This is where don't look too too hard at that. I tried my best. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think it's really cute, and I think Amy will like it. I chose this gold. I think it's like a lotus leaf or like a lily. I'm not exactly sure. I thought about the frog sitting on lily pads, so that's why I chose that. With a gold tassel. So that's my 2 smalls exchanges, and I'm going to pop in a pair of scissors, a little water erasable pen because I love these, and I had to make an order, so I got these for the 3 of us. It's one of those magnetic extendable things, and it's also got a light on the end, so if you drop your needle, you can search for it with the light and it extends to pick it up for you with the magnet. So that's the little smalls exchange. They're getting lots more goodies in the goodie bags that I'm making, so I thought not to put too much in the goodie bags. But yeah, this is what I've been working on the past, well, it took me maybe about 2 weeks to do both of those. They're probably a bit bigger than I would normally do a smalls exchange, but when you're doing it for people that you know, I think you can put a little bit more effort in, and it not be too much. So yeah, that's my two pieces that I haven't been able to show, but yeah, I will put it in a Flosstube whenever I get around to it and that they've seen them first. So yeah, thanks, bye. And then this was the little gift that we got from Amy, me and Megan got from Amy. So we got a little art jar, and it's got like a thing for a label on the front, a little notepad, again lined, love a good notepad. I thought this was just a box and I was just going to be very happy with a lovely starry box, but it does have something in it. Mine was a bit tight, so let me see if I can open it. So she put in a little Stitcher tarot card sticker, and that's definitely a water bottle one, so that's going straight on there. And then she did our initials on for embroidery, for a little embroidery hoop, the fabric and the backing fabric, and a little hoop butt thing. So I'll have to do that. I'll keep that out so I don't forget. And then this little basket, which Megan and I had been into Newcastle to Sostengren, which is it's a Dutch shop, I think. It's just filled with the most beautiful little things that you could fill up a basket and spend lots of money there. But we were looking at these baskets and we were like, I want all of them, but they collapse. So you can take them and fold them down and like stack them. They stack if they're open and they stack if they're closed. But me and Megan were both of the opinion that the cool thing about them is that you can open and close them. And if you just had them on your shelf, you would never close them. So it was funny that Amy had picked them up, and then we decided we could use them as retreat boxes. So with my newfound sewing skills, I'm going to make a little thread bed to go in the bottom there. Because when we were at the hotel and in the conference room, we each had a massive table, and I think I was the furthest spread out, to be honest. But you know, we do spread out a lot, and you do not always have that luxury of space. So this, if you had it at your stitchy spot, you could contain yourself somewhat. If it had a thread bed in the bottom, and you could put scissors and whatnot in there. So I'm gonna attempt to make a thread bed, and for it to fit, and I'll make a second one for Megan because I know she's got another one as well. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, these are super cute, and just funny how we were talking about them and then they appeared. Amy also gifted me this little bookmark kit for Anna to do. So that's very nice. So I can give it to her now that I've shown. Because I've been hiding it from her while I was waiting to film. Amy did finish her smalls exchange for Megan so she could take it away, but she did run out of floss. We did go to John Lewis because I ran out of floss too, but they didn't have any B5200 at John Lewis. So she was working on it, but she's taking it home to finish, and she's going to finish it into a little pouch for me. So I'll be excited when I get that, whenever it is. But this was my gift from Amy so far. And then this was our little gift from Megan. Super small, obviously, because she had to travel and she had a lot to pack with all of my bead boxes. But nonetheless thoughtful. So we got a little puffin pin. I think she picked this up in Iceland. Super cute. A little baggie full of Deanna floss drops. I love these ones. Stickers, Quirky Quaker stickers. Little charms, a little 2025 charm. I'd already bought some because I like to put a little year charm on my retreat badge of all of the retreats that I've been to. So I had to buy a bunch of 2025, and before I'd open this, I was putting it on my retreat badge, and I said, do you need a 2025 charm? And she said no, and then I opened that and laughed. And then a little moth charm with the moon phases on is so pretty. Other stickers, a Speak Moistly one, which I have on my water bottle, and a squid, which I have on this water bottle too, so I can put it on a different one. A Mothman Quirky Quaker, a Pumpkin Quirky Quaker. Those ones will go on Anna's probably. And then a little moon phase one that's just paper, so it's not for a water bottle, but I'll use that. A little pair of scissors, the stalk ones in beautiful teal, my favourite colour. And a piece of fabric from Fortnite Fabric. So this was from Megan's personal stash because you can't get Fortnite fabrics anymore. This is a 36 count linen in fantasy. So I will be finding something special to put on that. The other thing that she put in our pouches was this pebble from her husband's community in northern BC. I don't know if I know the name. If I do, I've forgotten. Sorry, Megan. But it's the softest little pebble. Absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much. That means a lot. And then Megan's Smalls exchange was this little cutie. And it's double-sided. I think, did she say this is from Mama Witch X Stitch? A little pumpkin and Candy being abducted, and then a little ghost and pumpkins. Super cute. So thank you, Megan, for those. I think she stitched the same thing for Amy as well. But just lovely. Just lovely. What else have I got to show you? Let me reach for these things. What I worked on at the retreat. So if you've seen my videos before, you might have known that I was stitching this Nautilus from the Stitcherhood, and I had run out of floss. This was Cottage Garden Threads Terracotta. Was that the name? It was one of the flosses that came in the X Stitch the Rainbow pack. And yeah, I'd run out. And it was it was a skein in the old packaging, so I knew it wasn't a recent dye lot. So I didn't want to order because I knew it would probably be different. But Amy had hers. I don't know if she bought the pack or it was from something else, but anyway, she had a full skein and she brought it with her so I could finish it off. I think I used like four lengths, so make like 12 in total, but she saved my bacon with that. So I managed to finish it. I had the hoop, and then when I came home, I just stuck a bit of foam core in the back as a little hoop butt thing. We and ahed over the right orientation of it, but ended up like this, and I really like it. This is how it looks, how it's like kind of orientated on the pattern, the model on the front of the pattern, but actually you can see by my stripes that that's kind of square with the stitches. But I like it on an angle. I like this situation. So yeah, really happy I finished that at the retreat. I don't know where I'll go. It'll probably go up behind me somewhere. So that was that. That was an FFO. Very happy with that one. I finished another thing. I didn't technically finish it at the retreat because I hadn't brought my gold beads because they were in the bead pot being sorted before we went, and I forgot. I forgot to fill up my floss drops, and that's why we needed to go to John Lewis. But I think that's just what I do now because I didn't check when I went to Scotland to fill up my floss drops. I can't be trusted. But I finished it when I got home within 48 hours of being home from the retreat, so I think it counts. I'm saying it counts. This is what's this? Christmas Tree Mandala by Châtelet. So it's one of the mini ones. Very, very small, but it's still taken me, I don't know how long to do this. Close my book. Did I write it down? 2 years. 2 years this took me. Why is that, Helen? Just because. I'd finished the Nautilus in 88 days. And that's just because I was waiting for floss. So this is on, I don't know what it's on. Let me see if I can find out. A 32 count Smoky Pearl by Zweigart. And is it this light? Is that better? I don't know. Maybe that's a bit better. It had it on the orange glow. Anywho, couple of changes with this. I changed up the beads around the outside. They're green. Changed up the beads. I can't remember. Added the stars because all of my Christmas trees have to have stars. That's my rule. And yeah, I'm gonna frame it like this. I mean, I guess they're gonna frame it square, but I think it looks very nice hung like that. So it'll be framed, and then I'll just ask them to put the hanger on the back on the diagonal. It'll only be out at Christmas, I guess. Maybe. Depends where I end up putting it. It could stay out all year. But yay, happy that it's finished. It's very sparkly. I've run out of things to say about it. It's fine. I think I messed up the colours in the last hedge. Can't even remember which hedge it was now. But I was kind of just stitching. I went to grab the next colour and realised that I'd already stitched with it or something. Can you tell? Can you tell if one of those hedges are different colours? No, you can't. And if you can, you're looking too closely, step away. Thank you very much. So that is a FO. I'm going to put it in my little pile of to be finishes because that has dwindled significantly since I've done my pillows. And it's only 3 of those now. It's my Singer Sampler, my Serenity, which I'm waiting to finish Coffee Quaker to go with it so we get them framed at the same time, same kind of thing. And then my Christmas tree. So I think that's what I'm going to get done for Christmas this year, is get some stuff framed as my Christmas presents. And then the other thing I worked on was Sleeping Bee. So got a lot done here. Was very happy with the amount of progress because this has been sat in a rut for quite a while. So I did this branch. This has been like my Everest. It's not quite my Everest. It's been a Ben Nevis, should we say that? I was just dreading it. There's just 2 colours in each leaf or whatever you call that. Like a pine, it's not a pine cone, but it's like the spiky leaves. Anywho, when I was looking at the pattern, I couldn't really find a good way to go. You know, when you're trying to find your route, I couldn't find a good route. So it was a bit slow going, but it was okay. I got there in the end, managed to finish that. I finished the rest of the quilt details in the bee, so that just needs the fill in of the yellow for the body of the bee. And then I think I did the those berries on that side, but I'll put a before and after because there will be a big difference. So this is on 40 count Cafe au Lait. This is the cursed fabric. For all of the projects that I've used it for, it's cursed. This one obviously had a terrible what do you call it? Border error. So this one I'm going to frame in a hoop and then put into a Barton Studios frame that holds the hoops. So I want to get it done as quickly as possible to just get it in a hoop, and then even if I change the frames that hold the hoop, at least it'll be in a hoop and it'll be safe. So that's my sleeping bee. So glad I got some good chunky done there. A little bit more haul that wasn't technically, didn't get at the retreat because we didn't shop, but throughout the retreat my Instagram decided to start sending me adverts for some scissors, and I didn't know if it was like scammy, like they were going to come from, it wasn't on Temu or anything like that, but I don't know. I've ordered them, they're here, they're great, so we're all good. But I was talking about it with the girls and they weren't getting the adverts, so I don't know. But now I'm like, go buy them because they're good. So it's these scissors, and they are like chunky handled scissors. Yeah, they're tiny blades. So they're like hefty. They're not too heavy, but they're hefty. You're not gonna kind of lose them. And they're they're so satisfying. So these are Guggenheim, not Guggenheim, Guggenheim with a N. Scissors. They have tailor's ones as well that I'm quite, I might get the tailor's ones as well, but these are just gorgeous. They are very sharp, just for thread. I'm not sure I'm sure you could cut fabric with them, but they're not very long blades to do that, hence why I want to get the tailor's ones. But yeah, these handles are they're like massive, and so they're very nice to hold. I can fit 2 fingers in that hole. I mean, I've got small hands, but yeah, very nice. Highly recommend those. That was the box, Guggenheim Precision 2. I don't know. I got fed it on Instagram. I tried to look for it just on its own, but it was like a Facebook ad through Instagram, so they don't have an Instagram profile. Anywho, I ordered those while at the retreat, and they came a few days later. So they're not from, you don't have to wait like a month for them to ship. And then the other thing that I did when I got home, when we went to John Lewis, I was looking at trim because the only pillow that I hadn't finished was my little hexes from D's 20 Stitches that I wanted to turn into a pillow, but I hadn't got any suitable trim. I wanted kind of like a mini pom-pom. The only one I had was like an off-white, and it wasn't going to go with the thing. So the trims that I was looking at John Lewis, they had like an organza ribbon. Organza is obviously very difficult to sew with, especially on a sewing machine. But Amy suggested the idea of pleating it and using it, pleating it onto something and then using it. The idea came to me. I didn't do it with the organza because I wanted purple in there as well. It was like a green organza. But I did do it with a green satin ribbon that I had, a green and a purple satin ribbon. I overlaid, I made a pleat, and then I put it on the pillow, top and bottom. I think it looks great. It's wonky as hell. This bit's smaller than this bit, but that's fine because it's on the bottom. So the thing that I didn't think about was the sides. So I sewed in the sides, and then when I flipped it inside out, these are like attached so they pull in. Again, I'm not like mad about it, but it was just like, oh yeah, I should have maybe thought about that. But that's my little hexes pillow. And it's super cute. So with this one, because of the trim, Oh, that was the other thing. I didn't add the trim like a sandwich. I stitched it to the front and then was like, oh yeah, I've got to do the back as well. So I had to do two. So that probably wasn't a good idea either. But I stitched on the front and then did the cut out a piece and turn it inside out and then put a patch over. So I've got a little green patch on there that's just held on with double-sided interfacing stuff. Anyway, it's not perfect. In this case, done was better than perfect, and I've learned a little bit, and it's not hideous. It's a little bit funky, but it's not hideous. So yeah, I did that when I came home while I still had the courage of my sewing machine. So yeah, that was another FFO. And I think that's about it. I don't know how long this is going to be. There's a lot of editing to do. I've rambled for too long. I hope you watched this in several spurts, or you at least had a decent meal in the middle of it. But thank you for watching. I know it wasn't kind of it was a bit all over the place, but yeah, it was a brilliant 3 weeks with lots of stitchy love, and I wish we could do it again. But alas, capitalism makes us work, so it is not to be. But I am going to see Megan again and a whole rest of the crew in 6 months at Stitch North, so I'm very excited for that. I've got 6 months to make those thread beds. I'll be fine. I'm going to procrastinate, but I'll be fine. And yeah. Any questions about anything that I might have jumped over, skipped over, let me know. But apart from that, be kind to yourself and others, and remember that I love you, and take care. Bye.